Disney, Beauty and the Beast, The Haunted Castle. "Oh, Mama," Chip wailed as his mother, Miss Potts, ran water in the sink. "Why do I have to take a bath?" Now, Chip," Miss Potts said as she gave Chip a good scrubbing with a sponge. "You want to look your best for your birthday tomorrow, don't you?" "I guess so," Chip giggled. "That tickles," he said as Miss Potts patted him dry with a towel. "All right, we're all done," Miss Potts said. "Look, Belle," Chip cried as Belle walked into the kitchen. "I'm clean as a whistle." Belle laughed. "You look very nice," she said. "Are you excited about your birthday tomorrow?" "I am," Chip cried happily. "Mama said that we'll play lots of games. Isn't that right, Mama?" Miss Potts nodded. "That's right, Chip," she said. "Do you think I'll have a birthday cake too?" Chip asked Belle. "Well, I don't know," Belle said, winking at Miss Potts. "I guess you'll just have to wait and see." Chip sighed happily. The next day was going to be the best day ever. He just knew it. Just then, Chip yawned. "All right, Chip, time for bed," Miss Potts said as she nudged him toward the china cabinet. "But how can I sleep when I'm so excited about my birthday tomorrow?" Chip asked, yawning again. "Oh, I think you'll manage," Miss Potts said as she gave him a quick kiss goodnight. "Good night, Chip," Belle said. "Good night," Chip said as his eyelids were very droopy. In another minute, he was fast asleep. A few hours later, Chip woke up with a start. The kitchen was very dark. There wasn't even a crack of light coming in from the door to the hallway. Everyone must be asleep, Chip thought. He blinked sleepily. Suddenly, he heard a long, slow creak, and then the rattle of metal. "It's coming from the silverware drawer," thought Chip. "Who's there?" Chip whispered into the darkness, but nobody answered. Then the noise stopped, but soon it started again, more quickly this time. Chip shivered. "Come out and show yourself," he said, trying to be brave. He wished that there was some light in the kitchen. He couldn't see a thing. Suddenly, the drawer closed with a bang. Then Chip heard footsteps and the low click of the door closing. "I better go see who it is," Chip said as he jumped out of the china cabinet. "What if it's a ghost or a monster? I'll go warn Mama and Belle and they'll wake the beast." Chip was pretty sure the beast could scare away any ghost or monster that got into the castle, as long as someone warned him in time. But he didn't want to wake anyone up until he absolutely sure what they were dealing with. Carefully, Chip climbed down from the table and hopped into the hall. Someone had forgotten to close the curtains, and the light of the moon shone into the hallway. but Chip still couldn't see very well. Suddenly, a floorboard squeaked. Chip ducked behind some draperies. Then he heard a voice. "I got 'em," a voice whispered. "Good, let's go," another voice said. "The others are waiting." Others, Chip thought. Could the house be full of ghosts and monsters? Oh, Chip was scared, but he knew he couldn't just stand there while the creatures were roaming about. Sure enough, the floorboards above Chip's head let out a low squeak. There were ghosts and monsters everywhere. Thud, thud, thud. Some of the creatures were making their way up the stairs. Chip peeked out from behind the curtains to see what they looked like. But it was still so dark, Chip couldn't see very well. If he wanted to get a better look at them, he was going to have to follow them. The little teacup hopped up the stairs quietly. Then, when he reached the second floor, he stopped along the wall and Chip saw a long shadow. It must be one of the monsters, he thought. It was enormous and had a large bumpy head and sharp claws. It was even more frightening than the beast. Finally, the shadow of the monster disappeared into a room. Chip just had to see what the monster looked like, so he decided to go in. He took a deep breath, quickly hopped to the door and let it swing open. When he saw what was inside, he let out a gasp. "Chip," Belle cried, "what are you doing up so late?" "My heavens," Cogsworth the mantel clock shouted as he dropped the large present he was carrying. "We haven't even finished decorating for the surprise breakfast birthday party yet." "Surprise party?" Chip asked. "You mean there were no ghosts or monsters?" "Goodness, no," said Lumiere the candelabrum. "Why were you in the kitchen?" Chip asked. Cogsworth held up a pair of scissors. "We needed these from the silverware drawer," he explained, "to cut the streamers." Belle laughed. "Well," she said, "I guess this really was a surprise." Chip grinned. He was glad that the surprise had turned out to be a party and not a bunch of ghosts and monsters. "Thanks, everyone," he said happily. "This is the best birthday surprise ever."